Alexander and the Alexander. Alexander stars Steve Carell and Jennifer Gardner, and they're the parents of Alexander, and he just has, his life just sucks. Every day is just a terrible day. Stuff goes wrong at school. His family just ignores him, and his family has these perfect lives. They're all just, everything's coming together for them, and he's just left there. And so one day on his birthday, he makes a wish that his family can experience what it's like to have a terrible day, and we have our movie.
Well, this is kind of similar to, any childhood story. You make a wish, and it comes true the next day. It's kind of a pun off of those old, kind of stories.
That's right, yeah,
or
all these movies.
Yeah, but, this movie, let's be honest, I think a lot of the movie was shown in the trailer.
Yeah. I mean, it's a kids' movie, so obviously this is marketed toward kids and families. But I feel like a lot of the jokes that they had in the movie, some of the good ones, they showed in the trailer to make sure families went to the theater. I don't think family movies need to do that. All you need to do is say it's a family movie and people will show up. I feel like they wasted a lot of potential this movie had of surprise laughs for everyone on the trailers. It was surprising for me.
Well, no doubt about it. This movie was funny at times, I think. Actually, I think it can appeal to an older audience. I think it was kind of funny at some points. I think Steve Carell, again, did a great job. Living kind of that Michael Scott type of role from The Office, but again, it was a funny movie at times. But the thing I think that made me go kind of bad in this movie was just the overall movie part of it. I don't believe this felt like a movie. To me, this felt almost like a TV show in a way. It kind of dragged on to be a extended TV show because this is a story that I think could have gone a lot faster, but they wanted to make it into a movie.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. And so, like I say, it kind of dragged on, and they kind of had to pile in jokes. Don't get me wrong, this movie was funny and entertaining at times, but I think that's what kind of hurt this movie. Was it just kind of dragged on. They didn't really know what to do with the movie, and it was, again, shown a lot in the trailer. And then, like I say, in the beginning, I'm not gonna say any spoilers or anything, but in the beginning, they come off of what, was going to happen at the end. They start where it ended, right? And so you kind of know what's going to happen in each point. That's kind of what just hurt me. You see, what kind of happened to them, and then you look back and you say, during the parts, and you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen next because I saw it already at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, well, a couple things. First, the reason this movie's only an hour 20 minutes long, and it felt like a 2-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was just way too long for me. I don't know why. And another thing, it's based off of a 20-page kids book, I think.
Exactly.
And so what it really felt like was a bunch of those little things. Each page of the book they stretched into a 20-minute scene. This whole movie for me felt like a bunch of SNL skits back to back to back with the bad things happening. And again, like you said, you know what's going to happen to these people, so when it happens, it's not funny because you knew it was going to happen. But again, back to the actors, Steve Carell and Jennifer Garner could have easily mailed this in, just accepted their paycheck. But I think they really did have fun with this movie, despite it being a terrible day. And they actually gave it their all, and I have respect for them for actually trying this movie.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely some scenes that work in this movie. There's some funny scenes in this movie. You're going to enjoy it. And, there's definitely some moments where you're going to enjoy and, laugh and stuff. But, again, it does get dragged out, and it's just not consistent enough. You're going to get those, as you said, SNL-type skits at times. But, again, it's not enough to create that full movie. It's kind of like half of it is a real movie while half of it isn't, and they just kind of crammed it all together, and it doesn't work in that aspect. But again, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this movie.
Yeah, families will enjoy it because it's a family movie. Of course, for the humor, I laughed at a couple things. There was too much potty humor for me. I just don't enjoy it. I guess kids like it, so it's marketed towards kids. Kids peeing everywhere. I guess that's funny. But again, overall, the movie was. They showed so many of the jokes in the trailer that I didn't really laugh at all. There were a couple things that I kind of chuckled at, but it's marketed toward kids and families. It's not for us. But it wasn't that enjoyable for me.
I agree. As a family movie, you're going to enjoy this. Get your family together, popcorn and stuff. You're going to enjoy this movie. Again, if you sit down, even if you're an adult or whatever, you're going to enjoy this movie and get a couple laughs. You're going to enjoy it. Steve Carell is a great actor. Jennifer Garner is a great actor. And so you're going to enjoy it in that aspect. But this is a movie that you're going to go back and say, wow, this is one of the best,
it's
comedy.
Very forgettable.
Yeah,
very
best
forgettable.
comedy type movies of the year. But, it's something that you'll have fun with the night, and that's kind of what I have to say. And I have to give this movie a solid average 5 out of 10. It wasn't anything real special in my eyes, but again, you're going to have your laughs, you're going to enjoy it at that moment. And again, I love Steve Carell as an actor, so that was one plus for me.
Yeah, as a family movie, I think this, even for families, I don't think this is a memorable movie. I think it's really forgettable. It's just something to take and let your kids just be distracted for an hour, 20 minutes, feels longer. But again, for the movie, I mean, it's hard to judge it because it's not marketed towards us, but for what it is, I'll just match you and go 5 out of 10 because, you know, it's nothing special. It's okay. It doesn't completely stink. It's not like it's just an assault and you're just hating yourself being there the whole time. It's just what it is. It's a family movie, and if you take your kid, if you're a family, then, you know, your kids will enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go into this movie hating it. I wasn't, you know, completely bored out of my mind, but it still was just, it fell flat, very, very flat, and again, it's an enjoyable movie. You're just going to enjoy it if you're with a family or everything, but as you said...
Yeah, the ending picked it up for me a bit because the ending kind of tied it all together, and I liked that. The ending, I actually started enjoying it a little bit at the ending, but again, the whole movie is just a little too scrambled throughout. So thank you guys for watching this review. If you want more J&J reviews, click that like button down below. We'll have plenty of more reviews coming out for you guys in the future. So thank you guys for watching J&J Reviews.
Signing out.